All right, guys, welcome back to Monday Trends with Megaroni. Megan, how was your weekend?
It was great. It was very relaxing. And I noticed that you and I are both wearing green today. So
Oh,
it has to be.
yeah. Look at that. That's
Yeah, which green promotes creativity, which that's the theme of the week this week. So it was a good weekend. It's going to be a good week.
I love it. I love it. Let's go. Everybody out there that's tuning in, happy Monday. I hope you guys are ready to kick this week's ass. Again, if you're just watching for the first time, the goal of these trends, conversations, and lives that we're doing here is to just give small business owners, professionals, anybody that's in a branding type setting or some business, the opportunity to just understand like what's happening in the world right now and how to stay ahead of the trend, right? The biggest thing is a lot of times you hear the saying like, if you're seeing trends in the news, it's too late, right? Means your competition's already doing it. Means a lot's happening. So we're trying to get you ahead of the game here. So Megan, why don't you kick us off with our first Monday trend here? What do we got going on this week?
Okay, so Twitter is testing a new highlights tab on your profile. So this is similar to what you've seen on Instagram and on Facebook, but this new feature is going to allow users to pin their best work or their best tweets. So businesses are taking after this to pin really important highlights, like if they are looking to drive subscriptions or draw attention to a product or a contest, they can pin those tweets right at the top. As well as the conversations that are attached to them, right? Because on Twitter, when you tweet, people can comment and you can have a full conversation underneath your post for the day. So users are able to easily go to this pinned tweet and understand very quickly what your brand is offering on Twitter.
And Twitter right now, oh my goodness, it's funny because every time we have this conversation, I always just think about the fact that like Twitter, me personally, right? Like from a business perspective, even from a business perspective, I've always looked at Twitter like this rock falling down a hill, and people leverage it and they watch and they like look at politicians and like their celebrity people that they like that have Twitter, and it's like there's so many different platforms. But now since Musk is in charge over there, like there's been a lot of changes obviously that have happened, and it seems like it's now starting to roll back uphill. And I even saw something that, because one thing, and this is more news than it is a trend, but I saw over the weekend that a lot of car companies now are hesitant to run ads on Twitter because they're concerned Elon Musk and Tesla might take what their advertising approaches are and utilize it in Tesla's, since he also has a conflict of interest by owning a car company. So a lot of these major brands that were spending millions and millions and millions of dollars a year on Twitter are now concerned, and they're saying, well, am I going to spend my money with a guy who owns a pretty formidable car company that literally is nothing to sneeze at, right? Like, it is something to sneeze at because literally Tesla's dominating, right? So ultimately, it's interesting. Twitter's just going through a lot of shit right now, but definitely a great trend. One of the things I want to talk about on my side was actually just like website data analytics going to that next level. One of the things that we're seeing right now in specifics is that people in the past using things like Hotjar or just normal Google Analytics or even heat maps on websites, like that was something that was like literally, if you had a heat map, like you were like next level in the past because you could just see like where the mouses were going and where people were clicking heavily. But there are third-party applications now that you can utilize. That Adapting Social, as an example, utilizes on all of our websites, which shows you the full user experience. So like as an example, we utilize a tool called SmartLook, and SmartLook just gives you the ability, almost like when you look at like how grocery stores will literally show, like they have cameras all over the stores and they move things around the grocery store and they watch people's like consumer shopping experience, and they base how they're going to set the store up based on how that, whether it's a mother, a lady, a guy, they're watching you pretending like, again, like you're an avatar, and these grocery stores are following you around the store, watching what you're putting in your cart and what you buy. And then they're saying that's why milk and eggs, as an example, is the farthest point of the store, because they want you to go through the entire store first and potentially buy all this other shit that maybe you don't need, right? like Doritos and Oreos. And then you end up at the essentials area, right? The commodities, which are the milk and eggs and things like that and cheese, and they put it so far back so you do that. On a website, when you have Smart Look or any sort of third-party integration app that gives you the ability to actually watch user experience. So literally every single user experience that happens on your website, you literally click in and you have the ability to watch and see what is happening, which is super, super important. So yeah, so definitely think about that for your site, for your brand. Again, if you're somebody who's just a brand or you're a business and you're only looking at Google Analytics, it's only so there's not enough depth there, right? You know, if you want more qualitative data, what better than to see with your own eyes, right? So think about and plugging in a third party for yourself.
Awesome. I love analytics. Data drives all decisions. And if you're not using analytics or anything like that to understand your behavior flow on your website, you're missing out majorly. A trend that I saw is that Instagram is testing this new way to create a sticker. And if you know how to create a sticker on Instagram right now, you have to jump through hoops to do it. You have to make sure that you're a verified brand account on Giphy. You have to create the sticker and then you have to upload it. And then you have to go back to Instagram and search on the app using one of the keywords that you uploaded on Giphy. Now, Instagram is allowing you to create a sticker right in stream on their platform using AI. So this AI bot will pop up. You can tell it what kind of sticker you're looking for, and then it'll create it within that app or that post that you're creating. So it's making it really easy for users to get involved with the creative process using stickers. And it's giving brands the ability to customize their content even more without having to jump through all those hoops.
The world is always going to be changing over here. It's always going to be.
It sure is.
Sure. Speaking of that, so on our topic here, I want to talk about Google search, right? So what we're seeing right now in trends, Google's in the process of launching, right, with Google I/O pretty much like around the corner right now. And what they're phrasing it as, and what we're seeing right now is that they want to make search more human, and they're utilizing the terminology more snackable. So what we're looking and expecting to see, like what ChatGPT is doing, has really obviously changed where the landscape is going, of like going to some sort of AI bot and asking questions. So right now we're seeing that Google's putting together pretty much, this search that's going to be in play now, where we have the ability to converse with Google. So right now we're just going to Google and we're searching and we're looking for restaurants, we're looking for credibility factors, we're looking for all these different things as a consumer, right? And now Google's building the ability to actually converse with an AI bot essentially throughout your search, right? So instead of you just going there, you're going to have this AI assistant now, right, that Google plans to launch. And boom, what does that mean? That means that you're going to now be able to communicate with Google on something that you want very specifically. Because right now, when you think about it, like perfect example, like if I'm Googling like, what are the best restaurants near me, like I have to go in and do my own search, like in research on what they provide me. What Google is getting to, right, and that's where we see just with any consumer trend, is that like it's making people lazier, right? So it's like now Google is going to take the initiatives and provide you specifically what you're looking for based on asking the right questions. So it's like, what is the best vegan restaurant that doesn't have like peanut allergies or this or whatever? You just put some things like that in play, and then they're going to give you specific answers, and you can ask it questions back, and it's going to give you answers back. So right now, again, it's a search engine, right? But now I almost feel like, is it going to be an answer engine? Like what's the evolution, right? Because technically you're doing your own search. Like you search for something, and then you're going through it yourself. But now it's going to be providing you specific answers to your search. So I don't know if that changes, if search is going to be different. And then what's really interesting, right? Because Google, again, they're trying to make everything more appetizing and snackable, is Google is actually in the process, and this is still rumored, it's not 100%, but moving away from blue links on Google. And that's something small, but again, from a visual appetizing perspective, they're trying to make Google search more simplistic, more human, and then this word they keep using is snackable. So yeah, and I know right now that we have a lot that Google is in the process of changing. I know that by 2025 to 2026, they're projecting that like most of search will be through AI and video component assets like YouTube and things like that. So the more you get yourself prepared for these types of things, the better your brand or business is going.
Definitely. And from a optimization standpoint, if you're optimizing your website, you're going to want to start to think about all of these different options, I guess you would say, that somebody would search, right? A vegan restaurant without these allergies, with this kind of atmosphere, and you're going to want to incorporate that in your web pages, in the images, video content, across the board. And Google is coming out with a lot of changes. One of the trends that I saw is that Google is launching a blue check mark for verified brands in Gmail. So this check mark is following us around from social platform to social platform, and now on Gmail. And what it's going to do is help consumer confusion when trying to understand if an email is spam or not. There's so many spammers out there who make it look like you're getting an email from Nordstrom, let's say, and it's not necessarily Nordstrom, right? So it's going to kind of help sort through your inbox. But then visually, if you see a blue check mark in your inbox next to somebody's, the sender name, it's going to immediately flag your eye to that specific email, just because it's another feature on the page of sea of emails, right? So by participating in this blue check mark, it's helping to verify your brand, but it's also helping for your email to stand out in a big inbox of emails, because it's another indicator now that, hey, look at me, I'm special. So this is available to all Google Workspace customers, including personal and business legacy G Suite accounts. So take advantage of it and get that check mark.
You know what's interesting? Like when this whole thing started first rolling out, I think nobody will understand like the importance of getting verified on certain platforms more than the people who have gotten hacked before. And when you've gotten your Facebook account hacked before, which I know a lot of people have, Instagram accounts hacked, things like that, a lot of these verification things are helping big time with your own security. It's a level up, obviously, because now you're a paid customer. So again, it's just interesting that everybody is following suit to that world. But again, it's just what's trending, right? So now everyone's jumping on the bandwagon. So super. Okay, so what else we got here? So this, my last one for today is on TikTok. Obviously, we know there's a lot of controversy that's been around TikTok with like them trying to move their headquarters to the U.S. so that it doesn't get banned in the United States. And there's a lot of information and things that are happening back and forth there, but they keep making it very attractive to use TikTok. When you think about TikTok initially, it was a startup company that just had ungodly amounts of money just poured into it by all these just, investors, over in Asia. And literally like everybody was like laughing, like nobody's going to beat Meta, whatever, or like Google and YouTube and stuff. And like they're really a force to be reckoned with right now. And one of the things that we're seeing like that's so interesting is that like they just keep making it so attractive for content creators to come to the platform and utilize it. So, they're in the process right now of essentially allowing an elite group of content creators and publishers get and share 50% of what they make on their ad revenue. So like YouTube they pay you per every 1,000 plus, or I forget the exact number, but every time you get certain impressions, literally TikTok is splitting 50% of like, if they're displaying an ad on your channel, like you're going to get 50% of that ad revenue. And like, that's insane. When you really think about that, you get down to the nitty gritty of that. Like literally most platforms, when you think about it, YouTube makes a lot of money before they give you $1, right? They need to make a lot of money first, whatever. But TikTok, they don't care. They're taking the Amazon approach to it. Amazon always had the approach that they're not like, that's why they've taken so long to become a profitable company, like literally over 2 decades to become a profitable company, because Jeff Bezos' idea was, to him, it didn't matter about like making money right now. It mattered about building impact and getting in front of enough people to the point where they needed to use the service and couldn't live without it. And then it started turning on all these extra fees and this and that to start making money. So the investors believed in Jeff and believed in his vision, and boom, obviously that paid off a bazillion folds, right? But that's the mindset that TikTok is embodying right now. They are big believers right now that you get as much content creators to the platform that people are going to stay. It's going to stick. Again, Amazon flywheel method. But again, so anybody out there that's watching this, You have to be in the top 4% of creators on TikTok, though. If you're in top 4% of creators, then you have the ability to actually get 50% ad revenue split with TikTok, which again, nobody in social is doing that, and they don't care. They don't care right now. TikTok's not concerned with making money right at this current time. They're more concerned with us getting obsessed with it, keeping us locked in, and then obviously at whatever point in time, it'll, they'll begin to make more money. But right now, they're making it very, very attractive to do that. So if you're a TikTok-aholic, right, or if you're somebody who literally top 4%, you have a lot of people that are following you, to know that a lot of people do, definitely look into this.
Yeah, that's really cool. You can make a lot of money. 50% rev share, that's a lot.
Well, that's a lot. But they're okay with it. And again, like I said, they're not worried about making money right now. They're worried about getting a fuck ton of people on the platform. And when you're giving these content creators that ability to split that type of revenue, the interesting thing is that at the end of the day, right, like the content creators who are like huge and famous on YouTube, they're not going to leave YouTube. They're just going to start posting on both. Like,
right.
why would they leave one for the other? But then you might start to see what like happened. Like Joe Rogan signed a $100 million Spotify deal, right? And now his content is strictly, like, at least podcast consumable content is strictly on the audio experience. That's what I'm gonna say. The audio experience is purely on Spotify, visuals on YouTube, obviously. But it's like, that was $100 million deal to do that. I'm curious because you see Rumble doing the same thing with content creators that are banned on platforms, like people from Steve Will Do It to that guy Andrew Tate. Like, they're paying these people millions and millions of dollars to only put out content on their platforms. Very interesting. The world's going into crazy ways with this stuff. But again, TikTok is definitely a force to be reckoned with right now in the social game if you are a big content creator.
For sure.
What else you got? You got anything else on your side?
That's it on my end. Three good trends, and in addition to yours.
So I will end with one more, and this is still developing. But right now, Google is also working on this project they're calling Project Magi. I could be totally botching that. I've been doing some research. It's MAGI. It could be Magi, whatever the hell it is. But right now, Google has a team of 160 engineers working through this right now. And what we're seeing is that essentially, they want to really elevate your purchasing and e-commerce experience on Google platforms. So like I know right now, like there's like sub like experiences where like I can like see if I'm gonna book a flight, like I can go on Google and it'll show you all the flights and stuff, but it then sends you to the other platform to go buy eventually. What this is doing right now and what they're working on is they want search ads and they want the ability to actually buy on Google to be like almost like you're buying on Amazon. It's so easy. Your credit card's already in there. Like checkout is super simple, and they want to streamline the shit out of that platform. So right now, again, they're calling it, I could be totally botching this. I haven't heard anybody say it yet. It's just been in our research, but it's Project Magi, MAGI. But it's where Google's e-com experience for you to go in and buy things, right, like e-commerce products, are going to be seamless, and it's definitely going to be a competitor of Amazon, in my opinion, and some e-commerce stores, because their goal is to do what? Their goal is to have you check out through Google. So something just to keep in mind that's coming down the pike. If you're an e-commerce website, or if you sell online or sell on Amazon, definitely take a look at that. Project Magi or Magi. I'm botching it. Sorry. But yeah, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in and joining us here today. We're super grateful. We do this every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our number one mission here is to just give brands, small business owners, salespeople, anybody who wants to grow a brand, get new clients online, to get in front of the trends, right? We're going to prepare and adapt for tomorrow's trends today, because typically if something's already too popped out there and, it's already out there in the world, you're, again, in most fields, your competition, you typically have people who are like really aggressive already out there and making big moves. So again, our goal is to help you get ahead of these trends before they pop. You know, we are getting them to you before they're out there in the world on a big scale. And guys, again, happy Monday. Please share this with somebody who is a business owner, a salesperson. Get them in front of these videos. The goal is to get them educated, right? Information is not power, but executed information is power, right? So at the end of the day, that's our goal here, guys. Happy Monday. Hope everybody creates an amazing rest of your productive one. Thank you, and we'll see you.